I got all this stuff open. I'm looking for my countdown here. All right. Peace to the family. Let's go ahead and get this thing started, man, because I got quite a few clips. We'll go ahead, go straight to the point. Start with the introductions. All right, so let me get started. My name is Brandon B. Dixon, MLS 154-1210. Again, it's at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, so on and so forth. Especially go to the YouTube. It's at Billionaire Loan Officer as well. We need to get up our subscribers for 2025. We're going to start making a little bit more conscious effort, get a little bit more produced up in here. So we're gonna make some changes in 2025. So we're gonna put a little bit of change in here. We need to expand our audience. So we got that coming soon here. Go to my website, www.applywithb.com, if you want to go ahead and book me for a consultation or start a mortgage. You give me a call, 832-775-8357. You call me 24/7 as long as it's about business. Also, you go to www.brandonbdixon.com if you want to go ahead and lease, you want to list your house, you want to buy, also I'm a licensed agent as well. Last but not least, go to cocinvestmentclub.com if you want to go ahead and get a real estate investment. So you go ahead and mitigate your risk. So with that being said, Barry B, I got you queued up. Boom.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving coming up to everybody.
Right.
This is Barry B. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in Houston and surrounding areas, just go to homesbybarryb.com, or you can Google Homes by Barry B, hashtag Homes by Barry B, and I'm on all social platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of them. Give me a call, 832-786-1270. Call, text, email me, and let's talk about getting your thoughts in for 2025, your dreams, what you want to accomplish.
Gotcha.
2025.
All right, so let's go ahead and kick this show off. I got quite a few clips on this one, but this first clip right here setting everything up, when Corey come in, we might have to play it again, but that's what I'm trying to delay it. You know what I mean? But this one right here kind of set everything off. So I'll go ahead and play the clip, and then we'll react to it, and then I'll reveal the name of the show. That kind of sets everything up. What's the premise of today's show going to be? So let's go ahead and play this first clip, and then we'll go from there. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and get it.
Wealth, as we know it as, is largely a myth. Most of the time when we speak about generational wealth in the community, we talk about passing down money, stocks, real estate, but the statistics show that 70% of wealthy people money is gone by the time it gets to their kids. And it's gone 90% of the time it gets to your grandkids, meaning that the term generational wealth isn't as normal or achieved as we like to believe. And that money is gone most of the time because the descendants don't have the will, habits, or education to continue on their legacy. And we always mention money, but the real things we should be mentioning is generational education, generational habits, generational spiritual guidance. Because at the end of the day, you could get somebody all the money in the world. It could be 100 million, it could be $1 billion. But if they don't have the necessary tools to grow that money, to not wild out, the money gonna be gone anyway. Everyone talk about how they're going to leave their children money, but no one really talks about how they're going to live their children bylaws and codes to live by so they can maintain and manage that money without losing themselves. Because the reality is, to give someone a bunch of money without them having to earn it or work for it is a form of crippling them. That is why most wealth is gone by the time their children get it, is because their children never had to do anything to earn it in the first place. So as much as we use the term generational wealth, the real term we should be using is a generational code of conduct, so that wealth you built can truly last for generations. Generational wealth, as we know it as, is largely a myth. Most of the time,
I'm gonna go ahead and run it one more time since Corey came in and during the middle of it. Let me run it one more time.
we speak about generational wealth in the community. We talk about passing down money, stocks, real estate, but the statistics show that 70% of wealthy people money is gone by the time it gets to their kids, and it's gone 90% of the time it gets to your grandkids, meaning that the term generational wealth isn't as normal or achieved as we like to believe. And that money is gone most of the time because the descendants don't have the will, habits, or education to continue on that legacy. And we always mention money, but the real things we should be mentioning is generational education, generational habits, generational spiritual guidance. Because at the end of the day, you could get somebody all the money in the world. It could be 100 million, it could be $1 billion. But if they don't have the necessary tools to grow that money, to not wild out, the money gonna be gone anyway. Everyone talk about how they're gonna leave their children money, but no one really talks about how they're gonna live their children bylaws and codes to live by so they can maintain and manage that money without losing themselves. Because the reality is, to give someone a bunch of money without them having to earn it or work for it is a form of crippling them. That is why most wealth is gone by the time their children get it, is because their children never had to do anything to earn it in the first place. So as much as we use the term generational wealth, the real term we should be using is a generational code of conduct, so that wealth you built can truly last for generations. Generational wealth, as we know it as.
Bam. So I'll let y'all go ahead and key in on that. That's gonna be the topic of the day discussion, man. Generational wealth versus generational character building. You know what I'm saying?
I agree totally. Yeah, you can give somebody money all they want, but if they don't know how to deal with it, they don't know how to make it or spend it or budget it or whatever, it'll be gone soon. It just will be gone. It just take a little longer because they got more of it. But yeah, they have to have the education. We don't never talk about that. We just talk about giving them money,
Right.
having some money for them when we go.
Right.
Absolutely. So the biggest thing is, you know what I'm saying, as Barry B said, you know what I'm saying, education is the biggest thing. But I think, you know what I'm saying, where a lot of people mess up is we leave our kids the money and it's supposed to last to the grandkids, but you know what I'm saying, that education never gets got. Now, if you happen to win the lottery, you left this money to your kids, why not have a stipulation in there where they have to take a financial educational class, or they have to have a financial planner, or whatever the case may be? I completely agree with the fact, you know what I'm saying, we essentially set them up for failure is what we do. They have a great time for the little bit of time that they actually have the money, but by the time they blow through it, you know what I'm saying, there'll be another story about, man, somebody, I'm trying to build back up. I had $10 million that I blew through. And you see it the same thing, you know what I'm saying, it just shows up in different forms. Even the same thing with athletes. When you got an athlete that came up, you know what I'm saying, and their parents knew nothing about financial wealth, nothing about being fiscally responsible, it was just blow it as it comes in, then that's all they're going to know. You hand a young 18, 19-year-old $1 million plus, they're going to do the exact same habits. They're not going to do anything different. So education is the number one process to get them educated. And sometimes we got to hold them accountable with different trusts and different things that we set up for them when that money's handed down to them.
Right. So this show, I got a bunch of different clips on, you know, character building and then techniques on how to actually build generational wealth. Well, like I said, I definitely agree. We focus on the latter of actually making it. We don't actually focus on the actual steps of actually building character. But even though so, my thing is this: if you instill the good habits in them, eventually they're gonna start making their own money. You know, so you know that's the thing. You got to kind of instill that character. I think it outweighs the bread. You know, because the bread is nothing without the habits. But let's get into a couple more clips and we'll get more into it because I got quite a bit of clips. So let's go ahead and get into the next one right here.
Rockefellers are one of the most powerful, richest, elite families in the world. John D. Rockefeller was the guy who really blew up the entire oil industry in America. And what they do, and the reason why they're still one of the wealthiest and most powerful families on the planet 7 generations later, is because of something called the Rockefeller waterfall method. The Vanderbilts were just as powerful and actually had more money than them. They blew all of their money by the 4th generation. The Vanderbilts literally are not even part of the conversation anymore. What is the waterfall method? The waterfall method is every single individual of the Rockefeller family got a very large life insurance policy put on them. The beneficiaries of those life insurance policies always tied back to the trust. And then inside of the trust was a cash value life insurance policy, which is used as the family bank. Now the family bank is inside the trust, so it acts as like a family vault. Now all the family members can take loans from the cash value life insurance throughout their whole life. When they die and pass away, that death benefit pays it all back, therefore replenishing all the funds that they used throughout their life. And with every single generation, the family trust just keeps getting poured in with more and more and more and more money, therefore making the family richer and more powerful, therefore creating generational wealth. Rockefellers.
Wow. So,
Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, that's what they do.
all right.
That's hey. Like you say, it's been 7 generations, so you can't knock it.
Yeah. 7 generations, you know it works.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like I said, the Vanderbilts, I think they still at the college. Didn't you go to Vanderbilt University, right?
Yes, sir.
Named after them, but they came to the Rockefellers still making that bread. They ran through their bread.
Yeah.
You know, so it can't happen. Like, you know, it's you know, if your influence not there, you know, and you know, you can set it up for your child, but what about the grandchild? So that you're not directly raising, you know, so you still have to have things in place, like you alluded to earlier, as far as where they can't blow through the money. So things like life insurance policies with the cash value, that way it replenishes when they kick the bucket. One thing for sure, 2 things for certain: you will kick the bucket. You know, so you definitely, you know,
Gets back
you definitely
in.
need those type of life insurance policies. I was talking to someone at the barbershop yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and you know, didn't even know anything about life insurance policy. You know that you don't have to be related to put a life insurance policy on somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as long as that person agrees to have a life.
These record companies put them on their entertainers all the time.
Right. So that's how people get rich, because you know we paying into, you know, Netflix and everything else per month, but you know, you need to pay in the life insurance policy. That's gonna pay off. You know, you need to have that on granny, auntie, you know, cousin, everybody. You know, because 1 thing for sure, 2 things for certain. You know, all of them gonna pass, and then that's the quickest way to set up generational wealth. Even if you don't have the discipline to save it yourself, the insurance policy is gonna cash out one of these days. It's damn near 100% investment, 100 for 100. You know, so it's not going anywhere. It's not a gamble. You know, it's just a matter of you have the discipline to pay into the policy.
That's one of the things, you know what I'm saying, I don't think they talk about enough, is the actual structure of it. People talk about trust individually, and then people talk about life insurance individually, but I don't think they talk in conjunction about how to use the two to kind of actually preserve wealth. And here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to have $5 billion or whatever the case may be to be able to use these strategies, which I think automatically people defeat themselves because they think, man, I ain't got $1 million. I don't need no, you know what I'm saying, no structure like that. Right. But I think, you know what I'm saying, if you truly care about the people that's in your lineage, or, you know what I'm saying, the people that's coming below you, you'll definitely set something up like this, you know what I'm saying, so that it continues on and you don't have an idiot come along and screw it up for everybody.
Right. So I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna play one clip on techniques talking about building generational wealth, and I'm gonna play one clip talking about building that generational character. So let's go ahead and get into a character clip right here. You know, then we'll bounce it back and forth because I got a few clips right now. So let's rock this one.
What's an asset?
Something that you want to pay you money.
What's an example of an asset?
Little property.
What's a business?
Something like you
What's cash flow?
Make a floor business.
What's ROI?
Return on your investment.
What's a liability?
Something that takes money out of your pocket and people that are no good for you.
What do you have to do if you want to be the best?
Work hard, work smart, believe on the best.
Good job, Ava. I'm so proud of you. What is money used for?
Investing.
Investing in what?
Cash flow producing assets.
What's an example of a cash flow producing asset?
Rental property.
What's another example?
A business by strong financial.
Yes, a business with strong financials. What else is money used for?
Invested. Saving
Yep. And what else?
and helping other people.
Good job, Ava. What is confidence?
To believe in yourself.
What is integrity?
To do the right thing even when no one's looking.
What is a leader?
To make your own choices.
Yes, Ava, I'm so proud of you. Good job, Mama.
Bam, I'll let y'all go in on that while I queue up the next one.
The most beautiful thing about this is, you know what I'm saying, the younger they are, the harder it is for them to forget. That mantra right there, you know what I'm saying, that she stated while she's sitting here, you know what I'm saying, it seems so small and minute, but it actually is going to make big waves for her in her future. Because, you know what I'm saying, those are the principles that he's teaching her at a young age. She's never going to forget those.
Mhm.
Right.
It's when you're at your youngest age where they talk about, you know what I'm saying, your mind is a sponge, you know what I'm saying, you're able to sponge, you're able to retain a lot more energy or a lot more information than after you get older. And I think, you know what I'm saying, only thing she's going to do is he's built a strong foundation. She knows the strong foundation. And the only thing she's going to do is build on top of that as she goes through life and learns and educates herself and learn more. So
Yeah,
I love seeing it.
And then she'll be able to pass it down to her kids when she had kids.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
She'll remember just sitting there with my dad and we talking about, you know, this right here.
Right.
And not talking about, you know, nonsense.
Right.
And to stay on the topic that we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, it's automatically assumed that when you talk about generational wealth, you're talking about a monetary value.
Mhm.
I think generational wealth could also be educational as well. You know what I'm saying? So as that education gets passed along, you know what I'm saying, you're still helping your downline.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think a lot of times we always think when people say wealth or things are going to happen, most people think money. That's not always the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the thing is, like, I think people, especially my generation, you know, and I don't know how it's going on now. I think people learning from social media and taking a little bit more caution, but I think in my generation, we was the latchkey kids. So a lot of TV raised us. And I think they thought we was going to pick up these skills through osmosis. You know, like we weren't taught like a lot of things, like balance the checkbook, about credit, about, you know, not getting that credit card, you know, at freshman year of college, about, you know, we weren't taught about financials, you know. So a lot of stuff that a lot of kids are privileged to now because the information is flowing.
Mhm.
You know, when in the 80s and the 90s, when the information was as prevalent, we didn't have the advantage of doing it. Not saying it's not playing victim at all, but I think these new parents need to take heed that you got to make a deposit in order to make a withdrawal. So the more that you pour into a kid, that's what you're gonna get out. So these kids are not gonna notice. They're not gonna pick this up on the street. They're gonna pick up more bad habits on the street than they would good habits. So if you want your kids to have good habits, you have to, and you know, go over and over. Repetition is the mother of learning. So you gotta, you know, put this into their head at an early age, the 0 through 7, and kind of make it a lifestyle. You know, so if they're not just gonna pick it up and just hope and wish, that ain't gonna work. That ain't good parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
You know.
And then the other thing is this, you know what I'm saying, at the younger age is when this stuff here becomes so much cooler because it comes from mom or dad, or both. You know what I'm saying, right? As you get older, you know what I'm saying, and you're trying to teach them principles about teenage and all this other stuff, they start to get to the point where they're becoming a young gentleman or young lady into a woman or a man, you know what I'm saying? They start to have this little arrogance about them, you know what I'm saying, as they start smelling themselves, as you say. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, that information can go in one ear and out the other.
Right.
So I think, so you know what I'm saying, I definitely think, you know what I'm saying, teaching them at a very young age where they're like, man, this is cool, you know what I'm saying? I get a chance to spend time with my dad or mom, you know what I'm saying? They teaching me something good, you know what I'm saying? I'm loving it, this, that, and the third. they're easily able to retain that a lot more than somebody that's a little bit bullheaded. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, they're in their own way. They don't necessarily want to hear it.
Well, you teaching them whether you trying to or not. Either way, you teaching them. They soaking up what you do. Your habit.
Even if they're just seeing what seeing what you're doing.
Yeah,
how you're
soaking it up. If you parked in front of the TV and gossiping, they're gonna be parked in front of the TV. And gossiping.
Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't have cell phones and all that, but
see, they burned people around. My grandmother and them burned up that rotary phone. They
it had a rotary. Yeah, it had a rotary.
Long cord. The cords was going throughout the house.
Video games wasn't present. Well, you had Atari out there, but I mean, it was not like it is now. Right. But I mean, if
pages and payphones, man. Pages and payphones. You know what I'm saying? Back then,
right, man. Hey,
I ain't get a page until I was in my 20s when pages came out. So I'm a little older than you, Corey.
I wasn't gonna put you out there like that, Barry.
I was in my 20s when the pages came out. So I'm still.
Yeah, man. That cord was so long, man. They had that stretched throughout the whole house. That one little cord. That phone
the one in the kitchen. House. We had the one in the kitchen on the wall.
It go everywhere.
That sucker went off
everywhere.
Right. That cord was so long.
And your kids got to learn, know stuff. When I was coming up, I didn't have anybody showing me that. I mean, my mom didn't get her first house till I was graduating from high school. Right. We had rented a house for all those years.
Right.
So you didn't have all of that, but now, like you say, the information is there. And we've learned, so now, hey, we got to teach the young. Right. That's the only way they're gonna get it.
Yeah, but let me tell you this: y'all gotta take heed to podcasts like this because as more people get more information, other kids gonna be out there. So it's a competition. You know what I mean? So your kids, you gotta all your kids to go out there and compete. Let's get to this next clip. So don't let your kids get caught behind. Start building their character now.
For sure.
How you train your brain. Number 1, read every single day. Number 2, write down all of your ideas. Number 3, exercise regularly. Number 4, always stick to a routine. Number 5, starve all of your distractions. Number 6, keep a journal inside of your smartphone. Number 7, meditate and always pray. Number 8, get the hell out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, I like that dude. He's pretty cool. I like him. He has a lot of good things about finance.
Right. I mean, just habits as well, man. Like I said, it's the habits. Your habits is who you really are. Like, a lot of people talk a good game. A lot of people in their mind think they doing something when they're really not. It's what you put on film. So I mean, and just the habits, what you do is what what you really are. So you form good habits, then you put out good income. I mean, put out good outcome.
Yeah. And like the reading, I love the reading. Read. That's something that's been a lost art over the last 15, 20 years. Reading.
Right.
I mean, the knowledge is out there. And that's the way you're gonna get it. You gotta read.
Right. Hold on. I'm trying to all right, cool. I got the next one here. Cool. I was looking for it. I was like, man, hold up. I know it's in here. Let's go ahead and run this next one. Bam.
I want my kids to have an easier life than myself. However, really, 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 really love your children. Don't spoil them so much they become incapable. Trust me, I know how difficult it is, especially when you have beautiful little girls and you want to give them everything and you want them happy and kissy and lovey and dovey and you want your kids to think you're the best parent on earth. What you're doing is you're setting them up for failure, especially with their diets. Cocoa Puffs, Cocoa Pebbles, Captain Crunch, fruit roll-ups, donuts, ice cream, crepes. If you truly love your kids, even though you want them to be happy, think long-term, eating better, working out, drinking enough water, brushing their teeth, being kind, being generous. Start to embed those traits as their children. And sometimes the best way to do that is to take them out and show them a little adversity. Some of you younger parents out there that are spoiling your kids, letting them eat whatever they want, Trust me, don't do it. I want.
Yeah. So
Totally agree with that. Yeah, you can't spoil them, even though you might want to.
well, like I said, we spoil them without even really knowing or really trying. I think it's by default, like laziness. I mean, people,
Convenience.
Like like I was raised, like my mama didn't feel like cooking. We had McDonald's, and McDonald's in my mind was the treat. So you crave McDonald's, that was a reward, like so. And it's now now you look at McDonald's, and it's we didn't know it was all that the chemicals and all that stuff and all the bad stuff. We looked at it as a reward. It should have been looked at as something that unhealthy that you shouldn't eat. So I mean, but it's the habits. Habits hard to break till this day.
And I think it's really hard now with the technology. Because if you don't, with kids, if you don't want to deal with them, let them get on their little device or whatever, and they leave you alone, and you can go do whatever you want to do or whatever.
Right.
They can get on the phone, or that technology is. I mean, I think it's worse now. I mean, they were spoiling, before then, but I think it's a lot easier. You go spend $50 and get a little device for them, have them play games or watch YouTube or something. And bam.
Right. Before you know it, that they raising the kid.
Yeah.
Right.
You go out and get something to eat. I don't care where you go, whatever restaurant you go to. Somebody got a little iPad there with a little bunny ears on it or whatever the case may be, posted up at the table. You know what I'm saying? Babysitting the kids while the parents try to enjoy themselves on a night out. Right. Now, you know what I'm saying? We ain't necessarily, because I've been, I'm guilty of it as well, you know what I'm saying, too. So I'm not saying that there's anything bad of it, but it has to be in doses, you know what I'm saying? It has to be a certain limit to it, right? But I think what he talks about is, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking about spoiling these kids, when you get them everything that they want and they don't see adversity, you know what I'm saying, you're not preparing them for life. And they always say, you know what I'm saying, you either pay now or pay later. So, you know what I'm saying, you can either choose to teach them about adversity and choose to teach them that the world doesn't revolve around them and give them everything that they want when they're little, or you can wait, you know what I'm saying, and then, be paying all that money to get them out of jail, paying all that money for lawyers later on or whatever the case may be, because they did something stupid and all they know is it ain't my fault. It's the world's fault. They have no sense of accountability.
Or they know that if I do something, mom or daddy gonna fix it.
They gonna bail me out. They my safety net. They gonna be there forever.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's completely different than, you know what I'm saying, the kid that was raised up in the projects, you know what I'm saying? The mom was like, look, 18, you're gonna have to figure it out. Go out and learn how to fly. I don't care if you up on the 16 bridge. You're gonna have to go figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It's just a completely different lifestyle. So I think, you know what I'm saying, giving your kids, things that they want, you know what I'm saying, just because you're blessed to have a good occupation, you're blessed to have a good job. There's nothing wrong with that, but you definitely have to be conscious that you're not spoiling the kids and setting them up for failure in life. You know what I'm saying? Because they need to understand accountability. They need to understand adversity. Those are big things in life they need to understand.
When I was listening to that, I thought of I saw a guy make a quote about it. He was saying something about that. Said, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
Right.
So you keep spoiling them, it's gonna get hard for them.
Right. Well, I think you gotta set them up with. We talked about this a few episodes back about the tough love. I give you what you want with parameters. I think that's how I was raised. Like, hey, you could have the best shopping as far as the school clothes, but you got to work all summer with your grandfather, cutting lawns. You got to have tasks. And that was my generation. I tried to do that with my daughter. It didn't work that well, but but I think that's the best way is to have like actually parameters. Like you get what you want, but there's a way you can earn what you want.
Most definitely.
I got another clip. That's the other clip I'm gonna play next when we get back to the kids. But let's go.
My first car was like that. My mom was getting a new car. She said, "You want this car? You gonna have to pay for the insurance."
Right.
That meant I had to go give me a job. I wanted that car. I had to get off the football team. because I had to go get a job because I wanted to drive a car. So it wasn't like I was going to the NFL. I was like, yeah. but hey, that's how she said, hey, you want the car? I mean, it was paid off, but you got to pay the insurance.
Well, see, that makes sense because you know what I'm saying, you're actually working for something. You know what I'm saying? Like she's giving you a blessing, but then you have to actually put forth the effort as well, too. You know what I'm saying? That's no different than a parent that actually charges their grown children rent to stay at the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some parents choose to keep it and do what they want to with the money, and then some parents choose to, hey, look, I'm gonna put this off to the side. So when you do come to me and tell me that you want to go off on your own, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna hand it back to you. But you understand responsibility that money was due on the first every single month. You had to pay that money. So there's different ways to teach the lesson, but at the end of the day, you have to teach the lesson.
Right. Let's go ahead and run this next clip here. Let's go ahead and run this one. And I got a clip about kind of the same thing as far as the kids, but let's run this one first because since I'm alternating.
What's the advice you ever got?
Save $20 a day. 20 a day times 365, 7,003. A year times 2 years, 14,006. 3 years, 21,009. 10 years, 73,000. Cap out 78 grand. Save 20 a day, and you always keep broke away. The reason why people don't have money is not how much money you get paid. Is how much money you save. I know people who work McDonald's minimum wage, and they make more money than people make $40 an hour because they understand where they at. So they save trying to get hired. And then the people who make more money, they spend more money and they get more habits. You know what I mean? Hey, good luck to life. You know what I mean? But you gotta save money. Without saving money, you got nothing to invest. That makes sense?
That was good advice. That's the best.
I thought about something when he said that. I don't know if y'all ever heard Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing said, we spend more because we make more. Patrick Ewing said that one time.
That's facts. That is facts.
We spend more money because we make more money.
Right.
That is fact.
It all comes down to discipline. The underlying thing is discipline here. You know, discipline with parenting. Discipline when saving your money and showing the kids how to save money, and it's not easy. It's a difficult thing. Like you got to learn how to give. You got to give your time. You got to give your effort. You know, and then you could then reap the rewards. I think the problem is that everybody want. You know, I won't say everybody. I would say 50% of the. Well, what is it? 48% of the country want these handouts and want see what you can give and what you can get. Excuse me, what you can get. And it ain't about what you get, is what you give. And just switch that on your mind, and I think everything will be all right, you know. And what you get, you blessed to get, but you want to give more than you receive. You just have to have that mind frame of that when doing everything. Because if you give, you're gonna naturally get out. I think that's just what it is. I think everybody's just trying to get out and they ain't putting nothing in. You ain't got no skin in the game. How you expect the outcome that you want?
And what he said at the beginning, I've heard a lot of financial people say, first thing you want to do is always pay yourself.
Right.
Instead of start paying your bills and all that, pay yourself first. And then,
I think you got to pull yourself into everything that you do. Like, I think what's happening now is that everybody wants to try something and then see if it automatically works out, and then it's $1 million. You know, they want to try automatically get rich. They want all the fruit, but they don't want the water the plant the seed, put the sunlight, to put the fertilizer. You got to do all that other stuff to get the fruit.
Microwave generation.
Yeah, they want the
That's
Amazon,
exactly what it is.
Yeah, Amazon Prime, Uber Eats generation.
I want it right now.
Everything is instant gratification, you know what I'm saying, at a convenience. It's pretty much what it boils down to, you know what I'm saying? I want my food. I don't want to cook my food, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to thaw it out, you know what I'm saying? I got to season it. I got to cook it, all that other stuff. I just want my food to come to me hot, and I want it right now. And I want somebody to bring it to me, you know what I'm saying?
And
that's the way it is.
I want to be a foodie. I want to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's purely craziness, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it makes 100% sense because you got to be able to save some money, because you got to have some money to actually be able to invest.
Right.
And then invest is where you actually take your money and you multiply, and then be able to get to the point where you want to get to. But a lot of people aren't able to get over that hump Because in order to get over that hump, you know what I'm saying, you got to get rid of the shiny object syndrome. And then you got to get to the point where you're disciplined enough to save some money, to invest. But you know what I'm saying, we can't get out of our own way because you know what I'm saying, we want instant gratification. We want that new Cadillac with that $800 payment now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to wait and save and all this other stuff so I get a lower payment. I want it now. I got a bonus. I'm going down there to spend that bonus.
Right. Well, you know, a lot of businesses
Spend it before you get it.
Spend it before you get it.
Yeah.
Which is like most people paychecks.
Right. So that's a lot of businesses capitalize on that exact thing, you know. So, and we fall to the wayside by it, you know, by falling into that trap, you know. But it's up to you to go against the stream, go against the tide.
Yes.
You know, and that's where the real wealth is, the real generational wealth. Let me run that clip that I was talking about as far as making the kids pay rent.
We started charging them mock expenses as a part of their financial education, and I have a lot more videos that go into that. But since we started doing this system, I've noticed a surprising shift. The boys have become more invested in keeping our home running smoothly. They're more careful with our belongings, more appreciative of treats and extras, and are eager to problem solve when something's off in the house. This shift towards a sense of investment through responsibilities around the house and mock expenses, they're building these financial principles that really add up over time, making a real difference and preparing them for adulthood. So I'm Sam. I teach personal finance concepts for kids, so feel free to leave any questions in the comments below and follow along. Today,
Now, so I'll let you. Well, let me go ahead in on that while I find the next clip. But yeah, I mean, I could bear witness to that because, like I said, by me working with my grandfather cutting lawn, that made an investment on the actual house, the overall appearance of the house. Like, you know, giving a damn about, you know, the exterior of the house, picking up trash and making it look good, you know, because I spent my Saturday getting that lawn together. We had an acre out there in Louisiana. So, man, that took us, you know, by the time you cut that grass, that's back in the days before, I don't know what the lawnmower doing now. I think the lawnmower just munch it down, but we had bags on it in that thing. Where every so passes, you have to take that bag off and empty that bag and then put it. Yeah, so that wasn't no joke. You know, you get about 2 good swipes, that bag full, and then just cut the thing off, cut it back on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because they get too heavy. That bag get too heavy, then you ain't doing nothing. But the grass, so you got to keep that bag empty. So you know, all that stuff was. I had a vested interest in the house at that point. You know, so keeping everything clean, keeping the perimeter clean, and, you know, keeping people off the lawn and stuff like that. You know, it kind of felt naturally. But if you don't involve your kids into anything like that, they're not aware. You know, they're just being kids. So, you know, you're making them aware by involving them. And you know what I'm saying? So I'll go ahead and let y'all chime in on that.
Yeah,
Like involving your kids is a big thing.
That gives them giving them responsibility, because when they don't have the responsibility, they tear stuff up and do all kinds of stuff because they don't have any interest in it, no vested interest in it.
Right.
So yeah, you make you go out there and work or, you know, help clean it up. Now you ain't just gonna go and tear it up because all the work you just had to put in to get it clean.
Hey, look,
and you ain't gonna let nobody else come and do it.
Hey, look, I know y'all remember the cell phones, you know what I'm saying, free after 7. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
look,
hey.
When
after 9, what you mean 7? Where you stay?
Look, I'm telling you, that prime code phone, you know what I'm saying? Come on. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? When the parents paying for it, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I went a little bit over, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man, my bad, you know what I'm saying? You ain't think nothing of it. Right. But then, you know what I'm saying, once you started paying for that thing, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I can't talk right now. Call me. Call me after 7, call me after 9. Whatever the case may be. Click. Right. Look, it ain't taking nothing but 30 seconds for you to tell them that. You know what I'm saying? They already know. You know what I'm saying, Barry?
Man, so, we used to pay per text. I don't even remember that. You had a certain amount of
paper text. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I only had like 500 text messages. That was killing.
I'm telling you, when it hit your own pocket, it's completely different. Right. The outlook of it is completely different. That's why you have to put that on the kids, you know what I'm saying, so that they learn early. Right. There's repercussions, you know what I'm saying, when you go out here and you get to spending money crazy or you don't care about somebody else's money or whatever.
Right.
So it's all just principles at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Disciplines that need to be taught to kids.
Speaking of spending out, Miss Harris, how she spent everybody else's money all crazy. You know what I'm saying? It went over budget. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story.
He gonna find some way to make it political, child. I can't. Hey, look, I look. You know what I'm saying? You can say the kids out here shooting up stuff. You know what I'm saying? B gonna find a way to make it political.
You know, so you gotta have that discipline, man. That discipline.
First, you are going to set up the trust and make your child the beneficiary of the trust, and you are the trustee. Then, any life insurance that you have, make sure that your trust is the beneficiary of the life insurance policy so that when you pass away, the trust receives the funds. Any real estate that you have, transfer the ownership into the trust so that your child can receive that tax-free. Any cash or other assets you have, make sure that is also transferred into the trust so that you can then choose the frequency of the payments from the trust to your child and at what age, and they become trust funds.
Wow.
There it is. We got the key. You just got to take heed to it.
Yeah.
Information flows, you know what I'm saying? Now it's literally at your fingertips, you know what I'm saying, to set yourself up for success. It just determines, you know what I'm saying, if you got the discipline to follow through and execute. That's what it boils down to. So you know what I'm saying, if your kids don't have a leg up, you want to complain about these other kids, you know what I'm saying, that had a better start than they did or whatever the case may be, you had the opportunity. You had the information there. You just didn't take advantage of it.
Right. Well, most people not, they kind of want an absentee parent and kind of, again, have them develop by osmosis. All of this stuff is, I think we just need to plan better. We need to plan better on parenthood. We need to plan better on buying a house. We need to plan better on, career. Everything needs to be planned out and then execute your plan. I think we just do stuff too random. I don't think being spontaneous is an attribute that you want. I think planning, working a plan, and life ain't nothing to play with. So I think we need to plan out stuff. We need to plan out, have intermediate goals, have long-term goals, have short-term goals, and write everything down and execute it. Like your boy Rory said a couple of clips ago.
Yeah, we gotta teach the young people to because the school's not doing it, and they just teaching them so they can be good workers. So we have to get in there and teach our people.
It ain't the school job to teach them how to do certain things. It's your job, but their whole thing is to teach them how to, work a job and fit into the system.
That's what I'm saying. Be workers.
They don't teach manners and stuff like that, and ethics, and man, they kind of teach the basics. So the other stuff is on you. That's your part of the job as a parent is a teacher. So.
That is, I do think, you know what I'm saying, to some kind of aspect, maybe not in advance or detail, but I do think, you know what I'm saying, you're going to school and you're getting an education, you know what I'm saying. Financial literacy should be some basic part of what you learn in school, and it's not. A lot of this stuff, you know what I'm saying, I'm helping my son out with homework. I'm like, this shit here, and you know what I'm saying, of course, you don't necessarily tell your kids that, but you like, man, this shit here you ain't gonna never use in life.
Right.
But you got to be able to manage your money. You got to be able to be fiscally responsible. You're going to always need that in life. And even the basics of that is not even taught in school.
How many times we use the Pythagorean theorem?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
The quadratic equation.
Well,
I remember that stuff from high school. I'm like,
exponentials and all this other stuff. I'm like, man, come on. You know what I'm saying?
We don't need this.
I think this depends on the field that you're going. I think it's prep school. Prep is prepping you for a general field. If you're going to STEM mathematics, you're gonna need that. So it just depends.
If you're going to mathematics, when you're in college, you know what I'm saying, you got a specific course that you need to take to get your mathematics degree. That's when you learn that stuff.
It's for prepare you for that, right? So algebra and all that, geometry, that's the basics. Algebra, so I took algebra, geometry,
calculus. Everybody took all that stuff. But,
I didn't take calc till I took pre-calc 12th grade. I didn't take calc till my freshman year.
I took pre-calc.
Yeah, and then the
I think. Well,
I know the junior year was advanced math.
I remember when I was in college, I was like in a little study group, and we were it was math. We were studying for math, and one of the girls said, "Well, we got to learn all this. They need to teach us how to balance a checkbook." This back, they tell you how long ago it was, because we don't even have checkbooks. Right. Yes. She was like, "They need to teach us how to balance a checkbook." I was like, "You know what? You sure right."
That's gonna be more valuable.
If you was to go into something STEM, you're gonna need that, because that's gonna be the basis. You're gonna need that.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna engineering or science,
right. Yeah. But if you just going to be something,
if you're going to get your history degree or your philosophy degree or sociology degree,
you won't need that stuff. But their job is not. They don't know you. You don't pick your specific field until you get to college. But their job as a prep school is to prep you for college.
Yeah. We're just gonna waste your time until you figure out what it is that you want to do.
Right. The problem is we get a lot of BS degrees. They say it's for bachelor of science, but it's really just BS. And humanities, mass communication, stuff like that. We get the political science, mass comm degrees, and stuff like that really don't pass the jobs.
Man, you know what? I this is completely random from what we're talking about, but I'm saying I wonder what's the future of the education is going to be now that you have a lot of the Fortune 500 companies. I'm saying a lot of other large cap companies are no longer requiring a degree in order to get a job, in order to be able to do that specific field. They also have a lot of certification schools that you can go to in order to get certificates to do certain things. Right. So my question becomes, what happens at that point when it's no longer mandatory to go to college to get a 4-year degree?
Right. Well, I think it's just going to be different fields. I got a clip coming up kind of similar to that, but I think it's going to be different fields. I think it's more choices as the population gets bigger. I think jobs is going to change. I mean, a lot of stuff, AI is going to take over, that you're not going to need. The technology is there where you're not going to need those jobs anymore.
Even if you want to do AI, you're going to need to know programming and stuff like that.
Right, well, that's computer science. But I'm talking about copywriters and authors and stuff like that you're not going to need. And then you're not even going to need actors anymore, theater and all that stuff, because we're just gonna put the bots on there. And we program the bots to say and act and all that stuff. So that's coming soon. So actors gonna be out of job real soon. So
I don't know about real soon.
I think it's coming soon.
It ain't gonna be a whole bunch of iRobot movies.
Nah, it ain't.
They gonna need some real people in that thing. Getting their Denzel on.
Nah, they already your likeness. The computers don't have to do multiple takes. Humans do. So you could program the AI, the artificial intelligence, to do. Now you're gonna start licensing your likeness, your NIL. And they just gonna copy you, and then pretty soon, all right, this is gonna be a random person, and they're gonna have virtual stars that ain't even people. So it's getting there. Look how the movies going right now. All these superhero movies and all these Marvel. It's like you're not gonna need a real person in the suit no more. It's gonna be all AI generated.
CGI.
It's gonna be CGI real soon. That's where it's going. In fact, what is it? Netflix. What is the new Black Box? Had an episode like that where it was the actors was mad because they was just taking the contract they decided they took the image like, damn, I didn't do this movie. Who authorized this movie? I didn't do, like, hey, you signed up, we can have your image. So they had it doing all kind of stuff. So they had an episode like that. So that means it's coming down the pike. It's probably within our lifetime you're gonna see this. So let's go ahead and get this next clip.
Is supposed to have by the age of 7. Trust me, some adults struggle with this. We're going to talk about hydration. Fit and Active teaches your child what water can do for them. Okay. Then there is a daily hydration tracker. Some adults don't even have habit trackers. Then there is a weekly hydration tracker for your child to color in every time they drink water. Then there's a monthly hydration tracker. Well, let's talk about breathing exercises to help with mindfulness and self-awareness. Teaching your child how to do breathing exercises You have some adults who do not know how to do this, okay? So your child will start here, breathe in, breathe out, and use their finger to trace as they're doing this exercise. Same thing with the rainbow. Last one I'm going to talk about is sleep routine. Healthy sleeping habits for your children. It shows a sequence of things, which one is what. Then as the bedtime routine kicks in, your child is to document for 7 days that they put away their electronics, get cozy, brush teeth, relaxing activity. Now it's time to sleep. Then, did I exercise today? It's all helping them track their behaviors. And again, adults struggle with this. Let's talk about a few habits your
Man, so that's one clip about using the technology to start tracking the habits and forming the habits, you know. So that's kind of a good one, kind of there, using technology, you know, and that technology making it fun like a coloring book for them, and that way they start forming the habits, you know, instead of, you know, just being deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's something good they can start. And it like you said, puts in drawing and coloring into it. So they still getting that in, and they can be on their device, and it's a purpose to it.
Right.
When you put it in a way, you know what I'm saying, where it actually engages them, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot easier for them to learn. It's the difference between being in class and having that boring ass teacher, you know what I'm saying, that I don't know if y'all remember that red-eyed guy in the commercial, you know what I'm saying, his voice was so dry and everything, you know what I'm saying, and only thing you could do is just want to go to sleep. I had a couple of teachers that was like that. But you had the animated teacher that made everything fun, you know what I'm saying? You wanted to go to that person's class. You wanted to learn. You wanted to hear what he had to say. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to do the activities. You know what I'm saying? It's just a difference of making it fun versus just being boring and dry. So I actually like what, you know what I'm saying, the stuff that she came up with.
Right. Yeah, let's hit this next one. I got a few left, so you know, we rolling though. I got a few more left, so let's hit this next one.
$1.6 million by the time she's 65. Here's exactly how to grow generational wealth for the kids in your life too. First things first, you need to open an account. You have three main choices here.
I chose a custodial brokerage account because it has less rules and I want Zia to have the freedom to use this money however she wants. But if you want to invest for a child's education or retirement, look into the other two. Okay, then you want to fund the account.
Put $1,000 in it when they're born.
Put $100 in it monthly. And then every year on their birthday, add another $500.
Then you want to invest the money in the account.
I chose an S&P 500 tracking ETF. Historically, these have returned 10%. You really can't go wrong.
Then just keep doing this till they're 18 and then stop. Thanks to the power of compound interest, if we get that historical 10% rate of return, she will have $7.6 million by the time she is 65.
How nuts is that? Follow for more tips on how to build generational wealth.
My goddaughter is going to have 7.
I like that one right there because that's one of my biggest talking points is actually most people not ready for retirement. You know, and most people try to scramble their last, you know, good years to try to get ready for retirement. And most people get caught up and try to live on a fixed income. But there's a way if you plan on being a parent that you could plan to set them up for retirement. And within 18 years, you can have them set for retirement. And then they can have their life mapped out where they could go ahead and have a little bit more leeway because their retirement already set up. And then you can put it into like an annuity saying they can't touch it till they're 65 or whatever, you know, so that make sure they can't blow it, you know. So there's all kind of ways. It's planning, man. It's financial planning. You know, it's something foreign to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know what I'm saying, I got a cousin, you know what I'm saying, who was set up on a trust, and you know what I'm saying, he couldn't actually access his trust until he turned 30. Just because, you know what I'm saying, at that point, you know what I'm saying, he becomes a lot more fiscally responsible and fiscally mature. So, you know what I'm saying, you know, something happened to his dad when he was young, 14, 15 years old, but you know what I'm saying, he wasn't able to touch that money until then. And it paid out through a life insurance policy, you know what I'm saying, and it paid dividends when it came to that. So I definitely believe in, you know what I'm saying, financial planning and being able to set your kids up, but setting them up the proper way.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely.
Right, let's get this next one there. I got, like I said, I'm running through them because I got a few more.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have life insurance. You value your iPhone more than your life. I've done with black people and done financial reviews of them, and they don't even realize that they've practiced financial advice. Just done.
Yeah.
I had a kid
Yeah.
open an account. Why? When I was a kid, my mum opened an account for me. I got life insurance because my grandma died, had life. Like, they just do it because it's been passed down. This is what we do. We need to start creating that because our parents weren't even born here. Where our parents came from, it wasn't even mortgaged. Why are we accepting our parents to show us something that they never had themselves? We are here. We are born into this environment. So we need to understand, how do we leverage it to make sure our kids know how to maximize it? But instead of that, we're watching Love Island.
Oh,
you don't know what ISA is, but you can tell me all Kanye's kids' name.
Facts.
It's a problem.
bro.
I hardly ever see an Asian person with keys on the internet talking about, I just bought a house.
Very rare.
It's normal.
Why do you think their culture's like that?
They're told.
I think it's culture is instilled in just their way of life. Help one another.
But if you look at the history, our culture got interrupted by things like the slave trade. That interruption of our culture is still affecting us today. I think we need to be easier on ourselves. I think there's stuff that's happened to our ancestors that didn't happen to other communities.
I hear you, but start saving for your kids. That's not your ancestors. Open a savings account, because the more of us that do this stuff, the more it becomes normal. When I grew up in church, we didn't talk about generational wealth. It was generational curses.
Curses.
Do you understand? Now we talk about generational wealth. It's so important that we don't allow ourselves to stay stuck. We have insurance for our mom.
That one was layered, man. I got to address something he said up in there that was powerful. I think the other guy was trying to, run that Victim Olympics thing. And this thing, I think we need to kill a Victim Olympics in 2025, man. I think we watch too much TV. I think we caught like with the boogeyman and stuff like that, man. I've never had no hoses turned on me. I've never, all this stuff that you see on TV ain't never really happened. A lot of times it'd be a figment of your imagination. So a lot of times you pull yourself back. We not in our grandfather era. We ain't in the Jim Crow no more. I think we need to stop using that as an excuse. A, and then B, secondly, is that he's wrong. Every culture has at some point was enslaved. Europeans was enslaved. Asians was enslaved. Everybody was enslaved. Arabs was slaves. Everybody was enslaved at one point. Jews were slaves. Everybody was slave, but they bounced back. They don't use this as an excuse. We're the same people that's using this for an excuse as happened years ago, 100 years ago. We ain't even seeing this. So how long are we gonna use this for the excuse until we get it together and move on from that? I never had a hose turned on me, and nobody ever said anything racist in my face. Come on, I see. We think stuff on TV is real, and and we only do that. We don't think wrestling is real, but we think this racist stuff that we see on TV is real. I never seen it.
So you don't believe racism is real?
I just hadn't seen it, not to the extreme.
That's not what I asked you. I didn't ask you if you seen it.
I think it's exaggerated.
I didn't ask you if you seen it. I just said you don't believe it's real.
How has racism?
No.
All right. Let me ask you. Let me do the J Vance on you.
Oh, there we go.
It's a yes or no, B. It's a yes or no question.
Yes, racism.
Hey, that's why I say B ought to be a politician, baby. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Right. It's a yes or no. Here we go.
Yes, racism is real. However,
okay, all right.
It's not to the point where it can affect you nowadays. Things have changed, and then look at the word ist. When you talk about a racist, I got to use this. I found this on a clip from YouTube. Ist. When you say ist, a scientist, a dentist, that means you're a specialist in that particular area. So is that a bad thing to be a racist? That means you know about your race. Is that a bad thing? You know what I mean? So we got to stop getting mad at somebody that have pride in their own race. Don't and they choose their race over you. You know what I'm saying? It's this is what it is. Why you can't have the same pride in yours? So stop worrying about how everybody else feel and control what you can control. So I think we use that as an excuse and a crutch, man. It ain't gonna stop you from being successful. Try harder. Nobody cares.
So this is one of those situations where, you know what I'm saying, I strongly disagree. And I think, you know what I'm saying, you have that opinion until it hit closer to home. And then you can understand, and then you change your views, which happens to so many people. I get it. You can do what you do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, you know what I'm saying, you know, when people are put in situations where racist things happen to them, you could just chalk it up to people just got their opinions, right? But you know what I'm saying, you can have your opinions, you can have your preference or whatever you want to call it. But then when you start to spew hate or you start to affect other innocent people, then there's a difference between, you know what I'm saying, your preference. So, you know what I'm saying, like if you want to talk amongst your peers about what you feel and what you prefer, no problem. But then when you go out in this street and you start attacking just random innocent people because of your preference, that's a completely different story.
Let me ask you this:
So,
when
you know
have you got attacked?
I don't want to take.
When have you got attacked?
I don't want to take. I don't want to take this whole.
When have you got attacked?
Victim thing. I don't want to take this whole victim thing, you know what I'm saying, and then just make it like, you know what I'm saying, it's a blanket statement. Nobody is ever victimized, right? You can simply say, you know what I'm saying, it's a victim thing, but you know what I'm saying, there are certain circumstances where, you know what I'm saying, just being at the wrong place, wrong time, wrong skin color, you know what I'm saying.
When in your lifetime have you got attacked because of your race?
Plenty of times.
When? Name one.
I've been choked out in the club. Because
no, I'm saying attack. You said attack.
He just said he got choked.
I just
got choked out of the club.
That's not an attack?
Because you were because of your race?
That's not an attack?
I thought you said you got choked out of a club. That means you were in a club doing something, right?
No.
You were having a fight?
In a club by the police, you know what I'm saying, just trying to protect my dad, you know what I'm saying, and then got choked out, right?
Okay. So that was because of your race?
It was. I won't go into details, but you know what I'm saying, it was. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we just let that be bygones, right? So then when I'm rolling in my car down South Post Oak and a police officer rolls next to me, you know what I'm saying, and I got a mug just like I got right here, right? Because I drink tea. You know what I'm saying? It's either coffee or tea for me to get energy. And a police officer tell me to roll down my window, and he tells me that, you know what I'm saying, I know what that is. I know what you drink, and I'm going to pull your ass over right now if you say anything. Well, what are you supposed to say? Sir, this is tea right here. This
so
is
that's because your race?
So, you know what I'm saying? What else is it because of, B?
Maybe you just don't like you ugly ass dude.
Well, we know that ain't true.
You know what I'm saying?
We know that ain't true.
Why all of got to resort to race? Maybe he just didn't like.
Why is it not?
Maybe he had a quota. See, you got to stop blaming everything.
Hey, B, you know what I'm saying? When
see, that's the thing. How you know definitely if he said I'm pulling you over because you black, then it'll be for your race. But this because you pulling over because you think you got a mug, you're assuming.
It's the same. No, it's the same. It's the same thing as me pulling up in high school to a high school to drop a girl off, and they roll up behind me and ask me to get out of the car and put a handcuffs on because I fit the profile of somebody that had a robbery in the area.
Okay, so that's because of your race?
Yes.
No, you fit the profile of somebody that had a robbery, somebody that looked like you robbed somebody else. So
B, I'm literally sitting in front of Bel Air High School. Nigga, what are you talking about? All right, so look,
you want them to do their job.
Barry B. B reminds me of the Dave Chappelle skit where he had the black Ku Klux Klan that didn't necessarily understand. That's what he reminds me of. You know what I'm saying? This whole skit right here, you know what I'm saying? But we're not gonna go down that road. We're not gonna go down that road. Just get back on topic.
Yeah.
Just get back on topic because B gone. B too far gone. We ain't arguing with B.
Nah,
B too far gone. So
you can't answer questions.
When you go back,
you know this was because of your race.
When you go back to, but again, you know what I'm saying, B, until it happens,
Man,
you know what I'm saying, you understand.
Obviously, you've never been in a situation, but you can tell when you have been. What's the word they use now? Profile knowledge. You know that I've been stopped before.
Maybe it's
and
your
I know
imagination.
and he did not come out and say, "I'm pulling you over because you black." Why?
Correct.
A police officer gonna say that?
Why do you assume that? Why do you assume that? Maybe they have a quota. Maybe you were doing something wrong.
Yeah, they did have a quota. You're right. They did have a quota.
You didn't have a quota. I was parked. I was in a legal car parked in front of a legal building. You know what I'm saying,
Bro?
And I was just the wrong skin color.
Bro, every race get pulled
None of my
over.
business. I was just the wrong skin
So
color.
you have exclusivity of getting pulled over. So every race don't get pulled over. That's what you're telling me.
Nobody said that.
Right. So how do you know they pulling over? How do you know they're pulling you over because you're black?
You right, B.
You
right,
don't.
man.
You're assuming that.
You right, B. So when we talk about being fiscally responsible, right? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it boils down to you being able to teach your kids the right discipline and the right principles, the way to be, you know what I'm saying, actually able to, you know what I'm saying, save some money, then invest some money, and then be able to affect the kids later on down in life because you're leaving them something other than that. Period.
Right. Hold on a second. But Barry, you got hold on, let me find this other clip. I was in the middle.
Right, yeah, teaching kids, yeah.
All right.
Teaching kids.
All right, hold on a second.
I think the other thing that doesn't why B pulling up that video, I think the other thing that actually gets overlooked is the fact of the key term that the other lady talked about 2 videos ago was compound interest. I don't think that people necessarily understand that. I think, you know what I'm saying, when you're investing in stocks and you invest in dividend stocks and those dividend stocks automatically reinvest to buy you more stocks, you look up to 10 or 20 years down the line and you're in a completely different financial position that you was in. So, you know what I'm saying, people need to be understanding about, you know what I'm saying, the power of investing. But I just don't think they understand. All they see is I can't spend the money that I'm given. But if they understand the future benefits of it, I think a lot more people would do it.
Yeah.
You sure the stocks don't compound less interest because you're black? How far you gonna take this?
Go ahead and play the video, B. You too far gone. You too far gone. You need a therapist, brother.
Nah, man, I live in the real world, man. You know, so I don't watch that. I don't watch TV like that.
It depends on your definition of real world, but okay.
Yeah.
Educates people on money. And then you show them how to use insurance to save money on taxes. And you show them how to use insurance to create perpetual generational wealth for their families. Most people don't like life insurance. They don't want to talk about it. But what if life insurance were more than life insurance? What if life insurance were both income replacement insurance, whether you die or live? What if your family had it as a policy? I don't mean a life insurance policy, but a family policy that everybody in our family, our family trust buys a life insurance policy on everyone. And every time someone dies, the money from the life insurance policy goes into the family trust that all the family members are the beneficiaries of. And we take some of those life insurance proceeds and buy more life insurance on the people in the family. So as your family grows, your wealth grows. So if you become the person who
So that kind of echoes one of the earlier ones as well.
Yeah, about
Rockefellers,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And one thing that he said in that is that life insurance has a bad connotation because we don't like to think about death.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that gets that bad connotation. That's why people don't want to think about it or look at it because it has a bad connotation. So we have to make sure people understand what life insurance is.
And don't forget,
benefits
it's priorities as well. We rather pay Netflix bills and go out and spend, $600-700 on a first date, than go ahead and spend that life insurance priorities. You got to prioritize. If it's important to you, you'll do it. But a lot of times it's not important in our community. So, going to what's the name of that restaurant that they don't want to go? Applebee's and Chipotle and all that stuff. That's too cheap. But we rather go to these high-end restaurants and go to these vacation spots that instead of actually investing in the basic necessities. So that part of your income should go towards life insurance. Period. It should be like your car insurance.
And that's part of education too. We got to let people know about insurance. And how it can, like he was giving examples of how it can give you you can take it on to the next generation, your kids and their kids.
That's the easiest way to do it. let's go ahead and run this next one. This is a little bit about more what we talked about earlier as well. So I'm kind of bouncing around, but we talked about this earlier as far as other stuff to do than getting a college degree.
Building trades. Let me make that clear. Look at my white book. Right here is my favorite, which is carpentry. Got millwrights. Millwrights install and maintain machinery such as pumps, turbines, and generators. Okay, you also got construction craft laborers. You got bricklayers. You got stonemasons. You got cabinet makers, mill workers. Okay, you got cement masons. You got structural steel workers, which are iron workers. You got electricians, operating engineers, which operate your cranes and your excavators. You got HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. You got plumbing, roofers, drywallers, plasterers, lathers, which build a framework for your plaster. Okay, you got glazers, which cut and install your windows, okay, and your doors. You got painters. You got floor layers, pile driver operators, who put the foundation for your sky rises. You got elevator constructors, and you got tile setters. Temple build. Be in the building trades. Let me hit.
Yeah. So I didn't even know they had that many different separate trades that you could go into, and all of them probably making six figures or close to it. So everybody wanna go into these humanities and stuff like that, but that blue collar stuff is kind of what's happening, you know. And you could not only do that, but even start your own business and get even more paid like that, you know. Roofing, especially, you know, a lot of that stuff is multi-million-dollar businesses if you do it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was in high school, they had trade classes. We had auto mechanics where students could learn how to work on cars, and they don't have that stuff nowadays.
Right. I think we done got too pretty, man. We wanted to do these pretty jobs. We got convinced some kind of way in the 90s that, you know, putting a suit on and looking pretty was the way to go. I know back in my dad's day, you know, if you had a job, the dirtier you were, the sweatier you were, the more your hairline receded and look ugly, that was more of a man you was back in the day. Like now we getting manis, petties, facials. Man, I had to stop going to my barber because he won't put hot towels on my head and all that, and charge me an arm and a leg to put a hot towel on my head. I don't need all that. You know?
That's the new hustle. That's the new hustle. We gonna give you service. You ain't gotta ask for it. We're gonna give you service and charge for it.
And charge $75 for you to charge $45 for you putting a hot towel on my head.
Man,
you know,
look,
I don't need that.
I saw a video the other day where a barber was talking about, you know what I'm saying, he had a client that he steadily progressed for, and in 2025 he was looking to go up to $200 for a haircut.
Right.
I'm like, it ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? Right. Hey, look, I get some T-liners. I got some T-liners at home. I keep it up.
That's the client fault.
But I think that's gonna be a whole new market. The $25 haircut gonna come back in style, and whoever do it gonna make a killing because these boys, again, is we done got too pretty. We want to get paid for a lot for a little, and we don't want to get our hands dirty. You know,
these $25 is just a lineup.
Man, man, my bar was back in the days, especially around. See this week right here. Them boys come out that thing lumpy. Them boys are cut at 5, start at 5, and then cut till 1, 2 in the morning every day this week. And it was just per head. Them boys are $20. They're $20 either that. You know what I'm saying? They're $20 that thing to that. Boom, 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 and they'll get them in and out.
Oh yeah, that's how mine is. I pay $25 for mine, and he do all of this. And I need to hit him. I need to hit him up tomorrow too,
right?
Because for Thursday. But I get all mine taken off. I get all mine taken off, so I don't need.
Right. Well,
got a bald head, man.
It's growing now. It's been a while. It's growing now.
For a bald head and the shape up, man. You nuts. You know, like
but here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that video, there's a lot of trades. So, you know what I'm saying, look, school ain't built for everybody. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, if you wasn't built or, you know what I'm saying, you couldn't go to college or you couldn't go to school or whatever the case may be, you was probably struggling, you know what I'm saying, probably doing some kind of fast food restaurant or something like that. But at these days, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of different opportunities just for some trades. Electricians and plumbers make a killing. Mechanics do too. Make an absolute killing. You know what I'm saying? You talking about easy 6 figures a year, you know what I'm saying? And that's if you half-ass do it, right? So I think, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of trades that a lot of people don't necessarily know because they're not the highlight trades. They're not stuff that people talk about every single day. Man, I'm going to this. I'm studying for this, or I'm trying to do this. They're not glorified.
It's not prestigious.
It's not prestigious, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people think, man, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to do that, man. I don't want to be climbing in hot ass attics and all this other stuff, looking at AC or whatever. What if you could make 6 figures a year?
Yeah.
Then would you do it? Or you know what I'm saying? You will make 6 figures a year legally. Or you know what I'm saying? Do you want to go out here and slang dope? Or you know what I'm saying, go out here and work at McDonald's where you got to deal with crazy ass people every day? Like, which would you prefer?
I think it's coming back now because it was in the 90s. It was, you know, my generation. It was Freaknik, and it was all about who was Greek, and it was school days. You know what I mean? It was that was it. You know, it was like what line you coming from? You know, it was all about the school. It was all about what the degree. Now you can get, you know, think about this. This is, you know, is what the women want. The women wanted a college graduate. And that's back in the day that signified that you had a good job. That's not necessarily the case no more. Nowadays, they just want that money. So now is you go where the money at. So now we got programmed to go to college because that's what we were taught. That's what our parents taught. But now you don't need that to make that money. Like Corey alluded to earlier, you get certifications and all that stuff. So you don't have to have that. You don't have to pledge, and you don't have to do all that to live good and have that, you know, that dream wife that you think about, man. You just need to make that money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can make that money. You can be a roofer.
Yeah.
You know,
roofers.
And our HVAC.
Even in the Houston construction, I thought about that years ago. I said, man, if I would have got into construction way back 25, 30 years ago, as much construction as Houston has had,
absolutely kill it. Make it kill it.
And that's never going to go out. That's never going to go out of style.
And then all you got to
AI ain't going to take that unless they get robots.
Yeah. All you got to do is keep your word. You know what I'm saying? And then now they got the whole thing where they got machines. They got machines building houses.
Right.
I did. Yeah, I saw a thing where it showed a robot painting the house. He was
I
painting.
think that would be fake. I think that's fake. But all right, let's run this next one.
I saw a robot cutting a yard. I know that's real. No, that's real. Tough.
I was a robot cutting the yard.
Broke trying to look rich. So here's what I am. I don't care where you put the money. You know, there's guys out there saying it should be real estate, should be the stock market. If you don't save money when you're broke, this is the thing no one's telling you. If you don't save money when you're broke, I'm talking about $10 a month, $20 a month. The crazy belief system in the world is that you will save it once you make more. If you have a habit of spending, you will spend more when you make more. Don't go broke trying to look rich. That's one thing everybody's doing right now. They're going.
Well, so that's a good point, man. Like,
you make more, you spend more.
I don't know what people be waiting on. People be waiting until they get a whole bunch of money to start getting a life insurance.
I do it when I make more money. I'll do this. I'll do this
when I
when I
make
make more money.
They keep kicking the can down the road, but you know when you do get the money, you're gonna go broke because you are what your habits are. You know, so
that's a reason. That's a reason why an executive could make $400,000 or $500,000 a year and still be broke. Because they got houses all over the place. You know what I'm saying? They never learn the discipline of actually managing money and keeping up and saving money. So you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying, if you're making more money. They talk all the time, you know what I'm saying? I read an article the other day where they talked about a school teacher becoming a millionaire because that school teacher chose to invest their money in real estate. Chose to invest their money in rental real estate, you know what I'm saying? And then they retired themselves from that. And you talking about a teacher, you know what I'm saying, at that time, you know what I'm saying, which was years ago, they ended up making $60-something thousand. $60-something thousand a year. So you know what I'm saying, you can't tell me it can't be done, but you just gotta have the discipline to do it.
Right. I'd seen something earlier. I couldn't find a clip. I started to say the clip. It was a dude that was he was telling me he only made like $20,000 a year, but he saved $500,000, you know, through investments, you know, and then letting the, you know, like you said earlier about the compounding interest and letting the interest buy more stocks, and then he brought like the blue chip stocks.
I don't know if that was the same article, but you know what I'm saying, I read one about a janitor.
Janitor, yeah.
And
like
then you know what I'm saying, He invested, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now he further along than the people that was making 6 figures.
Right. And you only made like $20,000 a year.
That's it.
Yeah. So, but it's all not what you do, is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
It is. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, want to look a certain way when they pull up. When they pull up, you know what I'm saying, I gotta have the Lexus, or you know what I'm saying, I gotta have the Benz on the front of my car, whatever the case may be, knowing that they ain't got no money, in their account. Now you done signed up for the $700-800 a month note, and you could have been saving that.
Well, let's be all the way real. It feels good. You know, you can't. It's
trying to impress
thing.
them with the Joneses.
Yeah, it's a powerful thing. You telling people to go against what feels good. So it's tough. You know, people do this stuff because it feels good. People buy that watch so people can compliment them. People are doing all this crazy stuff. Like Corey Hogan said, stick that Air Jordan stuff in their backside to, you know, just so people can compliment them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but you can't complain though. You can't complain about the decisions that you make, because there's repercussions to all of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. It feels better to do it without the rubber. But what about when you get that kid? You know what I'm saying? Then what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then now, you know what I'm saying, you tacked on to child support, whatever the case may be. So it's a discipline thing where, you know what I'm saying, you can't always do what feels good. We have to do what's responsible.
Now,
the smart decision.
Now, you know, I got to start the controversy, bro. Remember you said last week that you can't be happy. You always got to search for happiness, and that's my point that I was trying to make.
No.
Yeah.
Here go that goalpost. That goalpost. No, B. You said guys cannot be happy. You cannot be happy. Men are not built to be happy. That's what you said.
Exactly.
I said I disagree.
What makes me
that
happy,
had nothing to do with
I go Michael
right
Jordan
now.
every time. That's what makes me happy. You know, but you can't do what makes you happy.
What?
If you did what made us happy every time, wouldn't you go raw dog every time?
That's
what makes you happy.
You just said two words in there that changed the whole thing.
Yes,
you just said two words in that sentence that changed it. You said every time.
Well,
we don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Look,
you said every time.
Hey, hold on, Barry B. Watch him move the goalpost. Watch this. Go ahead, B. Go ahead, B.
If you ain't married,
you
you can't go raw dog unless you plan on having that baby. You can't go raw dog none of the time.
You just
you gonna tell two married cats you can't go raw dog?
No, I say unless you married, you can't go raw dog none of the time.
No,
you see what I'm saying? But it makes me happy.
Is that the only thing that make you happy?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, a lot of stuff. Eating cars make me happy, but I can't do it all the time. See, you understand what I'm going with?
Well, yeah, all the time. That's what you said. Every time. That's why I said those two words.
You trying to say men can't be happy? You know what I'm saying?
No, a man got to be purposeful and disciplined. We can't be happy because a lot of stuff that we make us happy is bad decisions. But let's go to the next clip because you know what I'm saying.
That's incorrect, but okay.
To teach your kids before they're 18. And these are the habits that I know that are going to help so many people reach financial success, and things that I wish my parents and teachers taught me growing up. 1, teach your kids how to use money. Whenever you get a pay stub, show them how much you make, or whenever there's a credit card payment, show them how to pay on the credit card app, because the more you show them now, the less scary it's going to be later on. 2, teach them entrepreneurship and how to make money. Show them how to create and monetize a website, or even set up a lemonade stand, and how to provide value to others. 3, teach them how to use credit cards responsibly and even open up a credit card for them. Building credit is so important, and it's going to make it easier for them to make larger purchases later on. 4, teach them how to budget and invest. Whenever you put away money in your savings or invest in your Roth IRA, show them what you're doing so you normalize it. 5, teach them how to give and how to be generous. Teaching your kids generosity will show them that money is a tool. It's not good or it's not bad, but it can be a powerful tool to help other people. Give me a follow and let's learn more about money together. I hope this video helped.
I agree with a lot of that. Letting them see how to pay bills, the entrepreneurship. Like my son, he wanted to make some money, so he started getting some of his old toys, and he went out in the driveway and set up a little stand and was trying to sell stuff.
Come on now.
He was trying to make him some money. I was like, cool. He ain't make any, but yeah, I like
yeah. Hey, look, I like where you going with that.
Yeah,
you know
I like
what I'm
where
saying?
you going. Now you got
took
it in your
initiative.
mind.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I think it's encouraging kids to do things like that. You know what I'm saying? That's life lessons. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, look, I didn't sell any toys this time, but I could have did this, and this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Next time I'll be able to sell it. Or next time I'll be able to do this, that, and the third. I think a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, it's just opening up kids' minds to be something outside of just iPad, you know what I'm saying, and then what they see on these YouTube videos. They need to understand life. Okay, well, this didn't work. Failure happens in business, especially when you be an entrepreneur. How do you make the adjustments and then you move forward in order to succeed? That's the biggest principle to be learned from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely love that. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree with you know what I'm saying, a lot of the principles that he talked about. One thing is, you know what I'm saying, is that, I'm not going to be open with my, you know what I'm saying, kids talk too goddamn much. So, you know what I'm saying, to be showing your paychecks that, oh, my dad make X amount of dollars, you know what I'm saying? My dad could buy your dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids do crazy shit like that. So I do believe there's a certain transparency, but you know what I'm saying, I think that's a little bit different stroke, different folks. But I think that's too much transparency.
Well, one of the biggest things I took from that is that teach them how to be charitable and give back. I think a lot of us miss that character building exercise. I think, charity is an important element of anything, and not just, giving away turkeys. I'm just talking about just making it part of a regimen in your life to give back. I think a couple of things. The more you give, the more you receive. And I think we're here to serve as well. So I think you balance the energy as well when you give. I think the more you give and the more you're able to be used, I think the more you're gonna be blessed. So I think you got to connect those two together as well. So I think we sleep on that. That's one of the most important elements that he laid out. Like, we kind of sleep on that. It's always take. But you got to give sometime to take. You got to balance the energy. You want to take all the time, but what have you given?
Yes, and I do think, you know what I'm saying, to certain degree, and I don't know what it touches on, but you know what I'm saying, for my son's school, you know what I'm saying, they have a certain amount of community hours they have to do. So, you know what I'm saying, we'll take him to the food bank and allow him, you know what I'm saying, to actually, you know what I'm saying, work at the food bank, and then see people that are less, you know what I'm saying, see kids that are less well off than they are. I think it's a great thing because, you know what I'm saying, they are actually registered in their head and they see these other kids and they see how they, you know what I'm saying, have hole in their shoes and things like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not blessed as they are, you know what I'm saying? So it actually humbles themselves, you know what I'm saying? And it actually gives a different type of mindset. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are people out here that I never fathom, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't see in my every single day, you know what I'm saying, people that struggle, kids that don't have this, kids that are deprived, kids that are dealing with real life issues. They don't necessarily see that until they're put in an environment where they can actually see it. It completely changes their mindset, and I think it makes them a better person growing up in life.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So
they don't know.
Yeah, you got to put that they giving, and this not in the collection plate either. That's too easy. Something where they got to actually be involved. Just like what they were talking about with the rent. Someday they got to be active. That when you start getting active and involvement, they start taking pride in it and start getting more involved with it. So let's run this next one right here.
Yep.
Money, you do not have to be this smart. Remember, start as early as possible. And if you're not 16 years old, if you're 30, 40, even 45, okay, start now.
Hold on, B, run that back. I missed the beginning.
That's critical.
Well, I just got to make it
cost low. 1% in fees is going to take 28% of your returns. 2% is going to take over 55% of your returns. If you do those things, you will have more money than you ever imagined. To make a lot of money, you do not have to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to remember a few key things. Start as early as possible. And if you're not 16 years old, if you're 30, 40, even 45, okay, start now. Second, invest aggressively every single month. That's critical. Third, keep your costs low. 1% in fees is going to take 28% of your returns. 2% is going to take over 55% of your returns. If you do those things, you will have more money than you ever imagined.
Gotcha. So basically, he said, really pay attention to your spending and pay attention to your both sides of the books. You know, a lot of people, I know it takes money to spend money, but you could be wise on how you spend your money to make money. You know, so a lot of us get reckless, you know, especially with the fees and everything like that. Another thing that we don't invest aggressively. We kind of stay in our wheelhouse. We stay in our comfort zone.
Just brush your teeth. Nope.
You know, so that's another thing. We don't invest aggressively at all. You know,
my thing is, you know what I'm saying, look, just invest, man. So you know what I'm saying, if you invest aggressively, if you invest, you know what I'm saying, like do something. Something is better than nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, it starts small, you know what I'm saying? And then once they actually see, well, damn, this money has grown to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should have invested more. And I think, you know what I'm saying, that actually, you know, that remorse a little bit, you know what I'm saying, for not investing more, essentially, you know what I'm saying, drills and hits something that's inside that be like, okay, well, look, I need to invest more. You know what I'm saying? I need to start at this point. And here's the thing. Even if you, like he said, you know what I'm saying, even if you're 45 or 50, it's never too late to start. You know what I'm saying? So at least get something started, you know what I'm saying, where you can actually build in the future. Don't think, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, I'm halfway through my lifehood. You know what I'm saying? It's too late for me to start now because it's never too late. That's just like houses, you know what I'm saying? We talk to people about houses all the time. You could be 60 something, you know what I'm saying? If you never owned a house, it's never too late to actually own a house. Because you know what I'm saying, even in those 10 years, 20 years, or 40 years that you have left, you're able to build some kind of equity, even if you didn't start at 20. So, you know what I'm saying, the time to start investing is now, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what age you are. I don't care what age you are.
Hey, I like how you said that. Hey, I just sold one last year. His first house, he was in his 70s. So, yep, you can be, your age don't matter. But I like how you said, huh?
Get that mortgage insurance though, if you're that older. You know, get that mortgage
I know, right?
down, pay it off.
I like how you said you start small, because I think a lot of people think that you have to have all this money to invest something.
Correct.
And you know, you don't need to have a lot of money to start investing. And like you say, once you see, oh man, I made some money. Now let me put a little bit more in. Oh, I made some more. Let me put some more in. And then that builds it up. Because I think a lot of people have this mindset that they got to have all these thousands of dollars to invest and all that. No, you don't need that.
And then here's the thing, you're saying the older you are, the more you're saying you start to see about bigger investments. But if you start young, right? You know what I'm saying? So let's say you start a stock account when your kids are young. You know what I'm saying? Like my kid is 11-year-old, you know what I'm saying? We started his stock account when he was 8 years old. So when he starts to see the dividend, what my stock has grown into, like, oh, okay, I'm starting to see it now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, have you taken a look at your account? This, that, and the third or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because all you're trying to do is plant those seeds where they understand and they see, okay, when I start to make money, I want it to compound. I want it to kind of multiply itself. So this I've seen through experience. Like I ain't had to hear about it or read about it. I've seen it for myself. So it's a lot easier for them to build those disciplines, you know what I'm saying, where they feel like, okay, well, look, I've seen it. I need to invest because I want my money to multiply, not just buying chains and shoes.
Yeah, gotcha. I got about 3 more, so let's run through these next 3 real quick. Well.
Yeah, it meant the world to me. He taught me so many life lessons that I'm able to translate also in my business every day as well too. The number one thing is character. He taught me that it meant you say you're gonna do something, make sure you do it, and you do it at the highest level. My dad also taught me about customer service. He really embarked upon, as a barber, not only providing a service, but also providing something for that individual person, meaning that he taught them about people who came in the shop who had other crafts that he would refer them to. I mean, my dad was a community leader in a barbershop. So that meant a lot to us as children, being surrounded around so many influential.
Well, so I just wanted to play it. Yeah, it was going in and out. That's why I only got like a couple of more. So I don't know, but I won't give them no shine. You know, we don't get no. We only give 2 mortgage people the shine out over here. You know what I'm saying? So, but I like what he was saying as far as what his dad taught him. I mean, you know, those lessons that that instilled in you last a lifetime. You think that that they're not listening, but they sometimes they don't appreciate you right then and there. So it might not appreciate you till you're gone or later on in life, but you still got to plant those seeds. It's still same with investing. It's investing into them. It might not play off immediately, but those lessons gonna compound too. So same thing with my grandfather. Like I ain't never give him his props in his face, but a lot of stuff, a lot of his sayings I still use today. Like when you stop, you go. I use that right now. Well, don't kill your fat you. That's all his sayings. So
it is. But I'm saying I think barbershops, especially more so then than it is now. I think there was a lot of lessons to be learned in barbershops because there was a lot more mature conversations back then in barbershops. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you had a kid, that was there. Kids being kind of in their own world or whatever, but when you point out to the kids, hey man, pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what's going on, this, that, and third. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in barbershops because there's a lot of conversations with different walks of life, different people, different people have different experiences or whatever. And everybody's there to share their experience, give their perception of what, what it is that they lived through, what, they was able to do, whatever the case may be. So, I think it's a valuable thing anytime you can take your kids and you can put your kids in an environment where they get a different perspective of different people. It's not just your perspective. Like, hey, look, don't just listen to me tell you. Listen to this man tell you. Listen to that man tell you. All this stuff is life experiences. That's going to live with them forever.
Right. So I got 2 more. So we're going to run through these next 2 real quick. One is real short. So this is the longest one I'm going to play. The longer one I'm going to play first. The other one I'm going to play last, the short one.
Big tall one. Shaq. He's got a lot of money. He said, I'm not going to give it to my kids.
No, Jackie Chan also said that.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm never going to get, they'd have to earn their own money.
Kids are older now, and they're kind of upset with me. Not really upset, but they don't understand. Because I tell them all the time, we ain't rich. I'm rich. Yeah, we don't. No, you got to have bachelor's or master's, and then if you want me to invest in one of your companies, you're gonna have to present it. Boom, boom, boom. Bring it to me. I'll let you know. I'm not giving you nothing.
Our parents and that, like some of the parents, they work hard. They want to get a better life, but they lose their kids. What's the point having all that money bringing up and you've lost your kids?
But Jackie Chan says, if I've raised my children well, they'll earn more than I did.
Yeah.
And if I didn't raise them well, they'll squander everything that I made.
What's that basketball player?
I love that.
Right.
I love that.
Agree.
Right. I absolutely love that.
If you show them right, they'll have more than you.
Right. So I'm gonna say one more, and then we'll come to conclusion. So is it generational wealth or generational character building? I got one more, and then we'll get into the question, man. We'll go around. Hold on a second. Damn, I missed the intro, so I'm gonna have to rerun this twice. Damn it. But it's short though, so I'll run it twice.
Price of living is too high. Wait till you get the bill from regret. And that bill from regret is generational. If you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill from regret. And that bill from regret.
So man,
bill from
regret. We were talking earlier, man. It's you got to buckle down and do the hard things now. it's going to cost you either way. I mean, you know, you can pay for it now, pay for it later. We said that earlier in the program. It's going to cost you. So buckle down, do the right thing. My thing is the generational wealth versus generational character building. I think generational character building first, and then you back it up by generational wealth. Because if you just have the wealth with no character, that wealth is going bye-bye.
Yep.
You know, the first generation is going to be gone. So I think we need to focus on and have more discussions on generational habit forming and generational character building and generational code of conduct. That's what we should be talking about. And I think just that we instill those principles in the youth. I think in 1 or 2 generations we could change the debauchery and the debacle that we have right now. You know, as a community, and we could get from last on the totem pole, the socioeconomic totem pole, just by instilling principles. Get off out behind and start really investing in these kids, and not just monetarily.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's not only monetarily, you know what I'm saying, it's actually education as well. You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that Shaq is like, look, I'm not just gonna hand it to them, you know what I'm saying? I need them to understand, I need them to work for it. Those are principles, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna live with them forever. They're not just gonna be handed over this money. It's the same thing with Warren Buffett, it's the same thing with Bill Gates. A lot of them teach their kids the same principle. Because when I hand you this money, I don't want you to squander it, you know what I'm saying, and just be looking up down the line. Now you working a 9 to 5, and you know what I'm saying, you known as a celebrity and working inside McDonald's. Hey man, that's Bill Gates' son right there. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's not what I'm trying to build, because if that's the case, you know what I'm saying, then I failed you as a father, I failed you as a parent. My job, you know what I'm saying, is to set you up for success in life. And regardless of my well-being, regardless of the money that I have or whatever the case may be, if I don't set you up with those principles to help you succeed in life, you know what I'm saying, then I failed you. And that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm in the habit of doing. I didn't get to $1 billion. I didn't get to multi-million dollars by being a failure. And I'm not going to let you fail either.
And that's what a lot of them don't understand, because that's me right now generation. They want it right now, and hey, that's I want that. I want my money. You ain't got no money. I got the money.
Correct. I got the money, and you gonna have to work if you want to get it.
You know what I had to do? I had to go to practice, or I had to stay up late, or I had to make these phone calls, or I had to make these letters, send these letters out. I had to go to the post office and do this, and I had to do all that.
Yeah, you ain't just gonna be laying in bed one night, you know what I'm saying, and pop up and just be like, I want to sell shoes, and expect for me to invest millions of dollars, and you ain't put no work into it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because the way you go into it is the way you're gonna come out of it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna invest $1 billion knowing that I'm pissing it away just because you know what I'm saying, you got my blood running through your veins. That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
And I think that I think it's one of the things, like many principles, where kids are just like, man, this is bullshit, da 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 da. But then, you know what I'm saying, as they get older in life, man, I'm glad my dad did that. I'm glad my mom did that. I'm glad my parents did that, or whatever the case may be, because that helped mold me into the person that I am today in order to be successful.
Right.
So even though they don't see it now, they will see it later.
I think one thing that we missing, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up because we're right at the hour 45-minute mark, is that I think if you don't give them some type of adversity, they're gonna manufacture some type of adversity. I think a lot of those kids that's wealthy get into drugs because they need some type of excitement. You know, they need to feel it. You know, so I think that's how they get in drugs. They got too much money, too much power, too much access, and they have to work for it. So they try to manufacture excitement, and that's how they get into drugs. You know, so because they need that dopamine rush. They instead of working for it and getting that sense of satisfaction, that dopamine by accomplishment, they manufacture it with drugs. So I think if you instill that, like what Shaq doing, like, hey, you need to work for it. I think that's putting that natural sense of accomplishment, which is natural dopamine. So it keeps them off of drugs and stuff like that. Keep them from being a screw up and a mess up. You know, so I think that's one of the points that we're missing. You have to set them up for success. You know, so with that being said, man, you know, we're gonna see y'all next week. We ain't gonna keep y'all that much longer, man.
It's almost
10 o'clock. Yeah, it's almost 10. So bam, on time.
All right,
peace. But